Hey liars, and welcome to another episode of the Pretty Little Liars After Show here on the Stream.tv Fan Show Network. We're live from Hollywood. My name is Sinead de Vries, and we are so excited to talk to you all about Pretty Little Liars Episode 2. Joining me here are my awesome and beautiful co-hosts. Over here on my left.
Hi guys! Woo! Episode 2, the return of Spoby. Ashley Mova here. So excited about episode 2.
And over here on my right.
Hey everyone, I am Meghan Lamontagne, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm really excited to hear from you guys a little later on the show.
And last but not least, and rocking some really awesome jeans.
Yeah! Hi guys, Stephanie Gray here. Still no proof who A is, but maybe we'll find out. Yes, my jeans, I saw Lucy Hale wear them in a magazine.
Girl.
They're from Urban Outfitters, so thanks.
That's awesome. I love them. All right, guys, we're going to get started really soon talking about episode 2. But first, we want to remind you all that starting right now, you guys can tweet on Twitter, obviously, using the hashtag PLLAS for Pretty Little Liars After Show. Towards the end of the show, we're going to answer all your questions. We're going to read your comments. We're really eager to see if you guys have figured out things that we are still so confused about. So PLLAS is the hashtag you need. And then we're gonna get there, but I'm really excited, you guys.
Yeah, no, it was a great episode for sure. It's gonna be a great season, and I'm really excited. You guys wanna talk about some positives?
Yes, okay, we're gonna get down and start talking about what we loved about this episode, which, to be honest with you, I don't know if I liked this one as much as last week.
Ooh.
Only because I'm really confused, okay? I was hoping after all the confusion last week that we would get some sort of answers, but it's not happening.
That's why we keep coming back for more.
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like, here's the thing, they do these tricky things where they try to, quote, answer it, and they'll have someone say something like, I don't need to hide anymore. But like Mona said, I don't need to hide anymore. But you can interpret that so many different ways. But I think that's a positive because, yeah, that's why I'm going to watch the next episode.
Absolutely.
Can we just talk about the return of Toby?
I know.
Yes! The core couple, well, one of the core couples, one of the many core couples. I just love him being back. I love seeing his interaction with Spencer. Talk about like scandalous little scene there. It was like a little steamy scene.
That was hot. I like that.
Although
It was a
I do
little-
like
sexy.
I feel like they kind of, yeah, Steph.
I'm like
Getting all hot over here.
Why don't you guys explain how you feel about Toby?
Yeah, well, you know
my
what?
gosh.
I honestly, I really don't like his hair.
The
There
hair
we go.
has got to go. Cut it out.
He looks cut it out.
Cut it literally.
A little Full House
Yes, but other than the hair, it was kind of awesome to see the two of them back in action. I think that we really needed that. Like I talked about last week, there's a familiarity that I think as fans, we love to see because there's a lot of craziness in Pretty Little Liars. So when we see that, something that we're like, oh, okay, well, we can at least take a break from guessing and then see something super cute and a little sexy, if I will.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was hot.
It was hot, and Spencer's acting or personality totally changes when Toby is there in a good way because, you know, she was addicted to Adderall and she had this whole, you know, she was all messed up, you know,
Jumpy
last
and-
season.
yeah.
But now that Toby's back, I could feel a sense of comfort, you know, that
Right.
smile she saw when
Right.
she first saw him. So it was
Right.
adorable. Very excited.
I read, okay, Megan gave me a book, or not really a book. By book, I mean a magazine.
Same thing.
All
What's
about Pretty
book?
Little Liars.
Because I would own it.
Because she would own it. It's got like posters and stuff that you hang on your wall. Totally embarrassing you. Anyway, moral of the story is Spoby, I think they're going to keep bringing back because I know that the actor who plays Toby, apparently like his favorite scenes to film are the ones with Spencer. So I know, and I can tell.
You can definitely
Yes.
tell they have some amazing chemistry,
Chemistry.
and that's a beautiful thing, I think. But how did you guys feel about Mona? I kind of liked Mona in this episode, pushing the envelope a little bit,
Yes.
being creepy as usual. But I kind of liked her. She was kind of a bitch.
I know.
Usual.
Who else was a bitch? Allie was kind of a
Yes.
bitch briefly with Spencer, right? She's like, oh, Spencer. Like, I don't remember what she said, but she was like back to her bitchy ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
Am I the only one who wants to see her be a bitch?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
You're not the only one. Okay, maybe you are.
No. I want to see her be a bitch.
Yes,
It's like, I
agreeing.
feel like that's her true personality.
It is.
And I loved seeing her at the police station,
Yes.
talking to the detective about, making up this lie, and they're all
Like
just
second
going
nature.
along with
Yes.
it and that just showed how much she really owns them, and it
Yes.
really showed their true relationship.
And it showed how much it
No,
shows
go.
how much that she hasn't changed, even
Right.
through all that time being gone and coming back. I mean, granted, now we realize that she was making up that story because she got the text message on her phone from Mona.
Saying,
Yes.
what would it said? Something like
The
"Li-
truth-
the truth will
Minute.
bury you alive in a New York minute.
Yes.
All I could think of they said New York Minute was that Mary
Mary
Kate
Kate
Ashley.
Oh my God, I'm so happy somebody said that because I was like, this is totally that Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen
New York Minute.
that every single girl, don't lie, every single girl has seen that Mary Kate and Ashley movie.
Oh,
Love
all the
it.
movies. But yes, go ahead. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
Oh no, I think I was just gonna say, yeah, that then ties back into Mona being creepy, being like, oh, I sent that text if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Another positive though, I like that we're supposed to be like framing, I think, Jason and Melissa, even though Melissa was MIA in this whole episode, but Jason starting to look kind of shady, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. I think that at this point we're kind of supposed to be framing all these different people, but we all know that they're not going to make it that easy.
No, they're
They're
not.
not going to make it that easy. The Mona thing, when it's like, oh, is she admitting to being A?
Hey, that's
no.
what I thought.
But like, there's
I
no way. There's no way that she would admit it.
No.
Or the not her, but the creators would admit it that soon. There's no way. I mean, the
Right.
first
They're also-
season just started.
They're not going to repeat the entire premise of season 1, which
Right.
is Mona's A. They're not going to be like, oh, again.
But what threw me off is that she said, now I don't have to hide anymore. And there's so many things that could really
Exactly.
be
That's
behind
what we
that
were talking
statement.
about. I know.
So
What I think she meant by that statement was the fact that what am I trying to say? You realize that they don't know who A is. There was, you know what I'm saying? So Mona and all of them, they clearly said in previous seasons that they had never seen the face of A.
Right.
So Mona may be thinking that A was Shauna.
Yeah.
And that's why she's saying she
Right.
doesn't have to hide anymore, even
Right.
though I don't think that's the case. I don't personally think Shauna was A. but-
No way, because the series would be over. Okay, we
Right.
know who A is. Let's all
Right.
start tuning into another series. Never. But also, I really liked the fact that just tagging off of what you just said, and Jason. What do we think about him being sad about his mom dying? But we were all thinking that he was possibly A. So does that mean that he didn't kill his mom
Because he
and he
seemed shocked.
is A?
Correct.
So someone else other than A killed his mom? Or does it mean that he's not A?
I think that moment was crucial because you could see it written all over his
Yes,
face, and
right?
it was a really sad
It
scene,
was.
guys.
sad.
And that song, like,
Kind of
Yeah.
gross.
what are they doing to us? That song was like, you guys know I don't like Mrs. DiLaurentis, but in that moment I was like, oh my God,
Right.
this is a little sad, but
Right.
I agree with you. I really liked that moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a great moment because, it's a special moment in Pretty Little Liars when you actually get answers. And I was wondering if they knew if Mrs. DiLaurentis was dead. And then at the end, you kind of see that they get to find out that she really is dead. So
Right.
No one knew that she was dead for
Yeah.
sure.
And Alison and Jason were both visibly very upset.
Visibly very upset. Side note, the violin music that she hears. Okay, sorry, I don't know if I'm the only one. Violin music and also like children laughing. Two of the creepiest things
I agree.
ever.
I
so
absolutely
I loved
agree.
that.
I
Positive.
think they took
Love
creepy
it.
to a
Whole new
whole
level.
new level. Exactly tonight with
Yes.
that little moment where the homeless guy jumped out and scared them.
There were
that
so many
dude?
little poppy moments. I loved it.
And yeah, like what did you say? Stephanie's like,
I was like, that's an actor in real life.
Yes.
Like, that's a guy who looks like that and
He
actually
auditioned
auditioned for this.
But I mean, I think that honestly, I really like that about this episode. I really think that they tried very hard to scare us, and I kind of think it worked.
Yes.
There was another thing I really loved was Aria's natural reaction to being terrified that somebody might realize that she is the one that killed
Right.
Shauna. I think that is a very natural reaction. I think that was definitely something that we can all relate to because that's a huge huge burden on her shoulders. I almost thought that the violin music perhaps was her own imagination.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
Like, she's
freaking her
losing
the
her mind.
hell out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Was it,
saying?
I think-
at first, was it just her imagination?
We don't
'Cause
know.
the second time around, we found out that it was her iPod, but the first time it
In
could have
bed.
been her imagination.
It could have been her imagination, or it could have been her brother who might have been playing. So we don't
Yeah.
know if she's okay. This is what I think. I think, okay, Spencer lost it, right, and she went a little crazy because of the Adderall and whatnot. And so now I think it's Aria's turn to kind of like lose her marbles.
crazy.
Yeah, I
Ooh,
definitely can
love
see
it.
that for sure. Another scene I really loved, because we're talking about real emotion, was the scene with Alison and her dad, because Alison is like a hard ass, you know? She's like, she got it to get, well, so-and-so, but she really showed her raw emotion and vulnerability in that scene, especially when her dad gave her that
Yeah.
picture of her as a kid. So
Right.
cute.
She's a good crier, am I right?
yes.
That's hard to do. Not
Yes.
that I've had experience, but I think it's hard.
Yeah.
But going back to her dad, I guess that's kind of more of like a dislike. It kind of pulled me back a little bit because we don't get to see her dad so often. So I was like, wait a second, who is that? Oh, okay, it's Allie's dad, but I don't know, he took me out of it a little bit.
I
Yeah.
can
A
see that. I can definitely see that because we haven't, as fans, none of us have really gotten the chance to truly connect with her father.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
He's also, is he
he's
not
from-
the best actor? I find myself laughing in his scenes, and I'm like, I don't know if that's the goal.
It could just be because he hasn't been with.
Yeah.
he
Maybe.
hasn't
Yeah, you
been on
guys
the
are right.
show, so there's no chemistry.
There's no
but-
chemistry at all.
Yeah.
No
So-
chemistry. You're totally right.
I definitely agree. I think so too because I was kind of like, this might be a little cheesy, but
Yeah.
I think I think that Alison, I think Alison, the way she reacted, that's a very
hard thing to do.
That is a very hard thing, and being in her room again, I can't even imagine. That's why I think I actually liked about this episode in particular was that they channeled emotions that we
Right.
all, as an audience, can easily relate to, no problem. It was
Yeah.
very
Yes.
easy to put ourselves in position with everything.
Sure. Yeah, and also.
Are we moving to? I'm ready to go with the discipline.
Yeah, I think so too.
We're ready.
Yeah, I think so too. I think honestly, and it kind of shows, right? Because we're like, there's not that much to talk about on this
Because
episode.
it didn't solve anything.
Except knowing, I thought that was a huge ending.
It was.
It
Knowing
was a
that
huge
the mom
ending.
It
died.
was.
Oh,
I
knowing
mean,
the mom
we
died, yeah.
got these big moments, the Jason moments and
Yeah.
Mrs. DiLaurentis. But as far the story kind of is just going.
Yes.
It's not like focusing. It's not
Right.
giving us these answers. It's just going.
I have one more thing I liked, actually. One more thing. For some reason, I really like Melissa being bad, and I loved knowing that Ren, from out of nowhere, answered her door
Yeah.
in London
Yes.
Yeah.
when Toby was trying to contact Melissa to get answers. So I want her to be bad. I want her and Alison to be bad. From my lips to the writer's ears. Make it happen.
Yeah. Well, she is a badass, I think, already.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you guys think about? What did you guys think about in the beginning of the episode, the opening? How did you feel about that?
When all the girls were talking.
Yes.
When the whole bus scene, when they were getting off the
Yes,
bus, I thought it was a little
Oh my gosh.
cheesy.
Very
Yeah.
It was, we were
cheesy.
laughing, I'm not
We
gonna
did.
lie.
We were
Allison was like,
laughing.
off the bus, and then, I can't do this, guys, I can't
Yeah.
do it. So it was a little cheesy, but I get where they were going with it. I mean, obviously they need to have a scene where they bring Allison back to Rosewood, and that it's very prominent, but it was a little awkward.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Totally
couldn't agree
agree.
more. I could not agree more. What did you think, Ashley?
Well, with the, I guess we're going in dislike direction. When the girls all came home and were talking to their parents for the first time after, being missing for a couple of days, especially seeing Hanna and her mom interact, my mom would be like, where have you been? What have you been doing? Not, let me make you some nachos and sit down, honey. It was just a little bit unbelievable, unrealistic for me, her reaction.
Yeah.
I think that it's easy to say that maybe they struggled a little bit with kind of trying to put Alison back in the picture because I feel like I know personally that if this was me, whether I was Alison or any of the other girls, my parents would never, ever in a million years react that way. I mean, my mom would literally be tugging me everywhere, all over the house, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I think Alison's dad, that those scenes were closer.
Yeah.
But I didn't like so much about how everybody else's parents reacted. And Lucy Hale's parents, or Aria's parents are...
There's MIA.
Aria's
Yeah.
parents are MIA. Spencer's mom seemed almost mad at Spencer,
Yeah.
right? She was
Yeah, I
like,
I think
"Oh,
it was
you're
a
gonna
little
go to
bit
bed?"
more realistic. I could see how a parent would be frustrated that their kid has been missing and hasn't given them a call or something. But
Like, don't make me worry about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, I might be the only one who thinks this, but the scene between Spencer and her mom, I found myself laughing again. Is that bad? Maybe I'm just starting to get
Which scene?
I'm like a
Which
tough
scene?
critic now because I'm like
which
really
scene?
paying attention. When Spencer's like, guys, I just want to go and take a shower and go to bed, and then the mom was like, no, and then I don't know, the mom kind of cried a little bit, but the whole thing seemed a little corny to me.
Yeah, and it almost seemed like the mom was a little bit upset that maybe her husband is keeping something from her because she said something like, your
Like
father and
she
Melissa.
said Melissa came back with a lot of secrets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
yep.
she knows that Melissa and Melissa's dad have something going on that they're not telling her. And I'm like, yeah, she's blind if she doesn't notice that. But finally, I feel like she has noticed.
I think Mrs. Hastings knows more than they think that she knows. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I definitely do. And if you think about it, I mean, that's her husband and that's her daughter. Like in real life, you would know those things. You could tell if people that close to you were lying to you.
And you wouldn't let it like go untalked about, right? If it was really your family, you'd be like, guys, what do you know? And she's just like, oh, they have secrets. I guess I won't try to delve into that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious to see what everybody else kind of thought about this episode as far as like the relationships and stuff like that go. And just a reminder, you guys tweet us #PLLAS and let us know, like, that's honestly truly how I felt. It was just a little bit hard for me to get connected, maybe because they had Alison in and they're trying to get to everybody because we as an audience want to know how everybody's reacting.
It just seemed unrealistic. I think overall it seemed unrealistic of her to get back, and literally no one cried of happiness at all. Then again, she is Alison, so no one would cry of happiness, but it still seemed like not dramatic enough. I have another thing that I didn't like.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Okay. I didn't love that they didn't show Melissa. I feel like she has a lot. I feel like we got left hanging in the last episode all about all things Melissa. She seemed to be the leader of the Mona minions, and she's got a lot to do. And they show Jason all the time, but Melissa's the other big person with secrets, and she was like MIA. And I like watching
Mr.
her.
Hastings too, and they were such a prominent part of last week's episode. But I definitely see where you're going with that because it makes you angry. Like you can't just disappear. Where do you go? Did you not get called in on set that day?
We're personally affected by this show. I got goosebumps at what point did I get goosebumps?
When did you get goosebumps?
It was
The violin
music.
That was so creepy.
It was creepy. It was super creepy. But
I
like I
know.
said, I kind of think that Aria's gonna lose it soon.
She's
She's going to go crazy in her head, and I think that any of us would. I mean, she killed somebody. She's right. She was like, I killed somebody, and whoever knows, like, what did she say? What was so funny? She was like, pretty soon Mona is gonna be handing out whistles and balloons
to blow on it.
Arya killed Sean. There's so many one-liners in
this
that's
episode.
positive, I guess.
Yes.
They always have so many great one-liners,
it on
usually from
purpose.
Hannah. But oh my gosh, like Spencer, Hannah, Emily,
Mrs.
and
Hastings.
Mrs. Hastings. They all had them this week, and it keeps the flow of serious and humor, and I love it. So
Wait, who had the other one? Hannah was like, yeah, we need to follow him, but first I need to change my underwear. And I was like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I would have reacted that way too if Jason's creepy face was all up in my window.
And I loved him in her room at night. Like that was such a creepy little scene, and I think that it kind of showed their relationship a little bit because it wasn't like, I don't know, if I was missing, I'd like to think that my brother would be like, oh my gosh, my sister. And I didn't see any of that from him. It was like creepy. There was a really weird like tone to it, and she didn't even turn around. She was awake. We could see that.
And the fact that Alison, when she came out on the porch, she said to her brother, she said, since I've been home, you haven't really asked me a lot of questions. He sort of shook it off.
Oh, I
Maybe
like
he
that
hasn't asked questions because he already knows.
Well, I mean, I think that by now we kind of know that he knows a little bit more because they discovered that he was in
New York.
Right.
So, I mean, definitely.
Because he didn't go to rehab because that rehab is closed.
Right. And tell me if I'm crazy here, but something tells me that Toby is hiding something.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
I don't know what it is.
yeah.
Like, and Spencer's like, why did you go to London? Like, there's no way I'd be like, no, nobody is leaving Rosewood without like a full detailed itinerary of what you're doing in any city other than like where I am, because I think that, I don't know, something about that seemed a little weird. I think it was cool that they used that scene to reveal that Ren was at Melissa's.
Right.
But at the
Right.
same time, I think that he seemed a little too nonchalant.
Right, and
Yeah.
rewinding back into the previous seasons, he was involved with A and doing things
Right,
like
and
there was
Jenna.
a shower scene, and like he was at Spencer's house
Yeah.
because he was doing something for A. So I
Jenna
don't think
needs
he's
to-
innocent. All that.
I
Innocent.
don't think he's innocent. Also, like, what happened to Jenna?
Yeah, her
right?
name keeps getting brought up,
But she's not brought up.
I'm thinking she's coming back.
I
Like,
think
where do you
so,
guys
too.
think?
We're due for
Yes.
a Jenna.
Yeah, where do you guys think from now? I think hopefully, this is kind of all we needed to get the story kind of out. I think they needed to bring these characters that we've forgotten about back in
Ren,
in order for
Ren.
us. Yeah,
Ren's another one.
In order for us to really relate and get back into everything. But where do you guys think we're gonna move from here? Like, where do you think, Ashley? Like, where do you think from here, now that we have Ren back, we have Alison's father back, we have Toby back, Caleb's coming back. Where do you think we're going?
That's a lot of guys.
Yeah.
NAT, lots of guys. I know I said this last week, but I still think that like that needs to play out.
That
Because
NAT
all
needs to
those
play
people,
out.
yeah, all those people in the NAT club thing all have a reason to hate Alison. And I feel like remember the scene a few episodes ago where or just one episode ago, where there were all the masked A's?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was thinking that those were the Mona minions, but then I realized that first Mona meeting hadn't happened yet.
No. Right.
So all those masked people weren't Mona's people, so who the
Right.
heck were they?
Yeah.
NAT
Right.
people,
right?
I think.
Yeah.
Megan, what do you think about? I mean, I remember last week you were talking about the direction they're gonna go.
Yeah.
As far as the girls specifically, and like Caleb and all these people they're bringing back.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited that they're bringing all these characters back, and I think that it's bringing everything full circle. So we're finally going to get some answers without bringing up more questions. I do think that that is in the future, but at the same time, I feel so fulfilled watching the episode. Like, it fulfilled my weekly PLL. But then at the same time, I'm like, oh gosh, this is getting to be such a tangled web. I'm so
Right.
confused.
I'm super excited also to see how they're gonna work out Allie coming back to school
Yeah.
and like where they're gonna go
College.
with that college and like.
Right.
Just every day, are they gonna say, "Hey, Allie, where have you been? Like, where were you missing?"
And
Like-
they've got to play out the lie. They've got to play out
Yes.
Allie
Yes.
lying
Yes.
to Holbrook and all the police, because obviously, I mean, that can't go on very
No.
long.
Very long,
And they
right.
need to play out, okay, actually, in terms of predictions, this is what I'm thinking. We had no proof in this whole episode that A is still alive. Because
Right.
think about it, the violin music could have been the brother. There's all these things that could have been Shauna, whatever. And so we don't know really if A is still alive. So something that they're definitely going to bring up is like some text from A, some
Yeah.
sign from
That's
A.
Well, I mean, it already happened.
Right.
That first text was kind of the beginning of it.
But that was from Mona.
That was from Mona.
She
Oh,
said
that was
she
from
invited
Mona.
it to
I
her.
thought that
gosh,
too. I know,
duh.
but I was thinking that. I was like, oh, A is back. That was
Yeah.
quick. But then they
Yeah,
fixed
and
it.
we all know that Mona is not A. She's not
That's
A.
No.
been done.
She's just a crazy, jealous
BS.
person. She's
Right.
literally just crazy. I don't know how else to say it. Mona
like
is
a
freaking
sane
crazy.
asylum.
No,
crazy.
she definitely
But a
is.
great actress. She is
Yes.
a great actress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
but I
true.
mean that's why every time we're on the screen we're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Mona, let it go.
Yeah.
I know.
As,
She doesn't
as
let things
one
go.
of our tweeters said during the show, Mona, it cray cray.
Right.
She's cray cray.
I love that. I think that as an audience, like as a PLL nation, if you will,
Yes,
we're all
we will.
starting to really think the same things.
Yes,
And it's
yes.
really cool that like we're relating to these characters as if we've known them forever.
Right.
I know.
Because we're all kind of thinking the same thing. Like Mona's crazy, Jason's creepy. Like, you know, it's
Yeah.
kind of. But I'm excited.
Someone had commented to us something about Jason being A, and I think that this episode even kind of goes with that
Yes.
because he was upset, like visibly upset when he saw his mom dead on the floor,
Right.
and you know, he could be thinking in his head, oh my gosh, my mom covered for me this whole time, and here she is laying on the floor.
Right.
And she said, but I guess that wouldn't
is
make
she
sense
covering?
because he would have had to
That's
kill
the
her.
big question.
Yeah.
We
That
don't
is another big
know.
question. Okay, so there was the email, right? And there was the email that was to
Email.
undisclosed
The email.
recipients from Mrs. D saying, I can't cover for you. anymore. So who was that to?
That's the big question.
That is a really good
But I did love how last week, we had so many people comment on last week's episode that we did on all of your theories.
Yes.
And I know some of them are coming in right now.
Yeah, definitely. And just a reminder, you can continue tweeting in using the hashtag PLLAS, and you can tweet us individually as well. Lots of people are wanting to have questions, and I know we all have a lot of questions.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get to it. So Twitter questions, here we go. So Breeze So Green asks, where was Melissa this episode?
Right.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys truly
I'm just a
think?
blank slate. I thought that
I think in real life she was going on vacation.
Was she going on vacation? Where was she going?
Well, I mean, Mrs. Hastings thinks that Melissa and her dad are in Philly. Remember she said that. I mean, she's not in Philly, you guys. Come on.
It's New York.
They're not there.
They want to film in New York
Yeah.
over filming in Philly. First of all, like the show creators, am I right?
Yeah. First, yeah.
I don't know, I like them Philly cheesesteaks.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, no,
There
they're
we
definitely
go.
not there
No.
because they both know a secret. So they're probably doing something with that secret,
Yeah.
that
They're
information
probably
that
like
they
down
have.
the street, you guys.
Yes.
Being creepy. All right. AA Mirren 24 asks, okay, I was watching PLL season 5, episode 2. At the end, I didn't see which face Ali made. Was
Sad.
it a guilty
Yeah.
face or a sad face?
It wasn't guilty, but I wouldn't say it was sad either.
Oh, I thought it was
just kind of,
sad.
I
She-
don't know, to me it was like a little bit blank. She wasn't crying, at least.
Well, then again,
Because
her
she
mom
wasn't.
did bury her alive,
Right.
so perhaps she wasn't
Right, and
that
she
sad.
knows that.
Maybe it was a look of worry. Worry, who did this?
That would be
Oh my gosh,
interesting.
this isn't over.
This
Right,
I'm not
that's
safe.
true. This isn't over.
Versus sadness.
Right.
So she's like,
right. Sad that
"It
her
just
life is on
did."
the line again.
Right. I definitely
Yeah.
didn't see her shed any tears, though.
No, I
And
made that up,
don't
but I
think
literally
she
made that
was-
up.
Yeah, I don't think it was a sneaky face either.
It was
so-
also
No.
a very dark scene. We were like,
Yeah,
oh,
we're like,
what's happening?
what's going on over there?
There were a lot of dark scenes this
Yes.
episode. Like,
Right.
Like
Yeah,
actually
guys.
visually dark, like not.
Yeah.
yeah, like actually, I mean, like they were in the nighttime a lot. That's what I mean. Like,
Need to shut your blinds to watch this episode.
yes. Alrighty, moving on. Samantha asks, who do you think buried Mrs. DiLaurentis?
I love this question because I have the same question.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a great question.
All right,
What do
let's
you guys
start
think?
eliminating people. We're eliminating Jason. I'm not eliminating Melissa
It
because
could be,
right?
That's what I was thinking because she's jealous, maybe that, that her dad is involved with this other family.
Right.
Maybe it's a jealousy thing.
right.
I think that it's safe to say that the person who buried Mrs. DiLaurentis is the same person to whom she was sending the email that she couldn't cover up for them anymore.
Yes,
I really
Yeah,
do.
it-
good
that makes
call.
sense.
She has something going with somebody. We don't know who it is.
Yeah.
We can all speculate as to who it may be. We're not going to find out anytime soon. But
Not in the next 2
that is,
seasons.
there is something going on. She couldn't help that person anymore, and they wanted their freaking revenge.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes.
Boom.
That makes total sense. Thank you for some. And now I don't need to watch any more episodes.
Yeah, right. All right. Mary
tuning in next
Kay
week.
Gray asks, how would you feel if you were in Arya's position of killing Shauna?
Freaking tell the police, man. Just tell the
Yes.
police. Be like, it was an accident. It was in self-defense, and you're totally covered by the law if you do that, right?
Right.
I don't know.
Tweet
Megan,
us.
would you tell the police?
Oh gosh, me personally, I don't think I would have had the guts to whack her in the first place, to be honest. But I think the way she's feeling about the whole situation is totally on point. I mean, at this point, these girls really can't go to the police because there's a whole bunch of other questions that are going to come along with it, and they
That's
want to
true.
avoid that. So
That's true.
I think she's feeling what she should be feeling.
Yeah.
Especially considering her boyfriend's in the hospital
Yeah.
and is recovering from like a gunshot wound. That's another layer
yeah.
of
That nobody
awfulness
knows.
going
Well, yeah,
on in
because
her
somebody
life.
just shot Ezra,
Yeah.
and now she just shot somebody,
Yeah.
and that somebody died. Although, like I said, I don't believe that Shauna would have died realistically that way. But I mean, after seeing he's not her boyfriend, but after seeing Ezra get shot, I'm
Sure.
sure that has a lot to do with
Sure.
the same guilt she's
Yeah,
feeling.
right,
You
right,
know, because
right.
that's, I mean,
Because the same thing happened to Ezra, and
Yeah.
she's feeling awful
Right.
about that.
and
Yeah.
he survived, and like she said, I thought was so powerful when she said, this person doesn't get to graduate high school, this person doesn't get to do this
Yeah.
because of me. And I feel like
Right.
I would feel the exact same way.
Right.
Same.
You know who else had that moment was Alison. Remember? And she went to the, corpse body area of the girl who really did die.
Yes.
And she was like, this girl like is dead and all this stuff. And she was talking to Mona. And then it was like Alison being good again. And I was like, I'm not watching this.
It's fake, dude. It's fake.
know.
Which, you know what,
being bad.
I shouldn't jump the gun here because looks like Priya Patel asked, do you think Ali has really changed? And so there we go. No, I don't.
no.
I think that she's scared. I think that she's scared. I would be hella scared, honestly, knowing I'm back. I have enemies everywhere I turn.
Yeah.
I better make good with all of these
I better
people.
pretend to be nice and like I had some transformation when really I didn't.
Yeah, no,
I think that Ali actually has a lot more to do with this than we all think
Yeah.
that she does. I
Yes.
think half of it is like maybe made up just because she wants attention. You know, we saw her that day on the stage, like she loved to be the center of attention. So I don't even think she changed in the first place. I didn't even, I didn't buy it at all.
Yeah,
Right. She's like,
agreed.
it's hard to
agreed.
go back into hell again. And
Well,
I'm like,
especially
no,
it's just
not.
hard to
You were
change.
never out of it.
It's just hard to change as a person in general. I mean, if that's who she is, and if she's, the show is called Pretty Little Liars. I mean, she's a liar, and she's going to continue lying. So
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the main theme for the episode, that the deeper,
The lies.
the closer they get to getting out of this, their lies and their dishonesty out of, what their true intentions are, I think are pretty good. I think the lies in this show is what inevitably screws everybody over.
It's gonna be
Because
their
there's so many
downfall.
ways that they can bring themselves out of it, but I think it was one of those episodes to truly remind us that this whole show started with a big pile of lies.
Yes, that's
Yes.
so true. That's so true. Talk about a moral of an entire season of a show. That is the truth. Like, really, that's like they can't go to the cops. They can't solve any of this. They can't even protect themselves just because they're scared of giving up their lies. You're totally right.
And they can't even tell each other everything. Even
Right.
when Arya was like, well, thanks for hiding that from me. It's the truth. They are literally, they're in over their heads. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how,
Yeah.
Right.
I would have a bottle of Xanax at my bed. Like, what the heck?
Or
it's getting pretty crazy. So I really hope, honestly, girls, I really hope that next episode we're gonna start, I feel like I can breathe again once I am done with all of the catch up. Even though it's good to catch up, but
Yes.
sorry.
Right.
it's
In their
just
defense,
all-
it is the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
We're just getting into it. So hopefully as it continues, we'll be a little bit less confused.
yes.
And bring some more characters back. Bring back Ren. Bring back Caleb. Obviously, that's going to happen soon. Bring back Melissa. She was MIA. And get rid of Kenneth.
Yeah.
I don't like watching that.
All right, one last question. I lust. Hey. Love your Twitter handle. I lust too. I lust asks or says, I think Mrs. D is covering for her twin sister at Radley, or she was at Radley and that's Jason's real mom.
Whoa, wait a second. Let me read this again. Wait, I think this is covering for her twin sister at Radley.
I know.
She was
Okay.
at Radley, and that's Jason's real.
This is Toby's real mom.
Yeah,
That would tie Toby
yeah.
and
Oh my
being,
God.
like, evil.
Honestly, your guys' theories are incredible.
Yes.
Right.
Honestly, I have been hearing things all week about Toby's mom. I think that it's so important to remember that there was a huge storyline with Toby's mom that
Yes.
we kind of just moved
Blew
away
over,
from.
right.
Yeah.
But I think that's incredible. I don't even know
That's
how to respond.
That's probably one of the
Yeah.
best theories
Yeah.
I've heard so far.
Yeah.
So
Right.
bravo to you.
That just blew my mind.
I lust. I knew you were a smart one with that Twitter handle.
Also, you guys, we really do analyze all of your Twitter,
Yeah.
your tweets, and your YouTube comments.
We
And
Yes.
were just
respond
talking
to all-
about them
yeah.
in the green room. So
Yeah.
send more over.
Yes,
Yeah,
please,
we
please.
rehash them, and
Yeah.
we're like, oh, we were wrong there. We really take them to heart, and we learn from your comments.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Help us out.
it's really cool to see your guys' theories because I think, like I said earlier, we're all in this together. Honestly.
Yes, the nation.
So definitely keep tweeting us and commenting and let us know more questions, more theories. You guys are blowing my mind with your theories because they're so good.
Yeah, they
so,
really are.
yeah, we're all on Twitter, so you should definitely tweet us. I am at Sinead de Vries, my first and last name. Ashley?
At Ashley Mova, hashtag PLLAN.
I am on Twitter and Instagram at Meg Lamontagne. Tweet us for sure.
And me too, Twitter and Instagram, Stephanie L. Gray.
Wonderful.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, all right, so we're gonna be on Twitter this week because I know that I'm gonna need to definitely re-look at this episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We also do that too, no joke.
Yeah.
We rewatch the episode like 5 times before we come in the next week so we can like piece together things we didn't think
Yes.
of, incorporate your guys' theories and see how they play into the episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll like rehash this 15 more times.
All right.
Great job, everyone.
I mean, honestly, I think that we're kind of where we can be at this point.
Stay tuned.
This was a tough
Nerve-wracking.
pill to a tough Adderall pill to swallow. I'm sorry, I had to, you guys. I had to.
Wait, you guys. Wait, before we go, just real fast, can we talk about when Alison? Oh, that too. We should totally end on that. But can we talk about Alison? Who's like, when Jason was like, "No, you can't like leave the house or whatever," and then Alison was like, "God, I'm not. No, go for it.
Do it.
I'm not gonna go twerk down the street."
We don't know if she said twerk, you guys. We don't know if she said twerk.
I thought she said, "I'm not gonna twerk down the street."
I'm not twerking down the street. If she did say twerk, then this episode just became the best thing Pretty Little Liars has ever given to us. So
Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's end with the gasp.
All right, let's see if we're getting better. Maybe we're getting better at this.
I think, last week I didn't know where to look.
Wait, I'm not ready. Okay.
1, 2, 3.